CustomTacticals.com here, and today I'm looking at I'm reviewing a Phantom Steelworks Skinwalker. The Phantom Steelworks Skinwalker is a pretty recognizable knife, custom made by Chris Martin of Phantom Steelworks. Now that I've opened it up, it's probably a lot more recognizable to those of you who haven't heard of it. It's a very unique design. Obviously, the angle of it is one of the things that stands out. A good self-defense design here, because as you can see, it allows you to hold it, but with the blade pointing forward here. It deploys very quickly because it only has to open that much. So, very cool. This particular model here is features the CTX HP steel on the blade. It's got the murdered TI finish that I believe they call it murdered TI, as well as murdered TI finish on the blade to match. I really like the murdered look. It's got sort of it's blasted, and then the raised areas are polished. I guess the whole knife is bead blasted, and then maybe just runs it along a polishing, like a sandpaper or something to polish it. Kind of a neat finish. I like it. Gives you some contrast between the bead blasting and the polishing, the satin finish on the TI. So one of the things I think one of the users complained about was some of you guys just want to know how much it weighs and what it feels like. 137.9 grams is what it's showing on the scale. So that's how much it weighs. Let me talk a little bit here. There's the custom titanium clip here is really cool. It's pretty thin here, so I would worry a little bit about, if you just really cranked on this, you might bend it permanently. But it does sit in the pocket really well. It slides in, getting lots of room here. It's got a custom bearing in it, in the bearing pivot, so it's quite smooth. You'll notice that when you open it, there's zero play too. There's no play on this knife. You open it, no play. You can even choke up on it, which is a little awkward with this knife because of the angle, but you can choke up on it because it gives you a little bit of an extra finger notch here, so you could really choke up and get into some fine details if you wanted to. Lots of jimping, large jimping on the top of the blunt knife here, and lots on the back here. And we all love jimping, right? So especially big, chunky jimping like this. Lots of jimping here, and we all love the word jimping too. Such a great word. It's not actually in any dictionary, but everybody who's a knife nut knows the word jimping, right? So some other stats here. The actual blade from here to here measures 3.5 centimeters, or sorry, 3.5 inches, but the cutting edge is only 2.5 inches, because obviously there's a lot of blade tang here with no blade on it. The grind on this one is pretty simple. It's a saber grind, or full flat, more all the way through the front here. As you can see by the huge secondary bevel on it, it's a pretty thick blade. Like, it's a pretty thick cutting edge. It's not a fine cutter. So this isn't going to be a precise slicer or anything like that. It's probably not going to be a very good cutter. Haven't used it to cut anything just because it's kind of awkward in shape. So you're not going to be going around cutting like tomatoes with this. But the design is more of a self-defense design, so you're gonna probably not going to be using it for EDC type stuff, unless it's your backup blade or something like that. But you know, the Skinwalker is a really neat design. Something is just so cool that I had to have in my collection. I just needed something that just, you know, stands out a little bit from everything else I have. You know, once you've collected a lot of different types of knives, it's nice to have one of these. I think Chris sells these for in the $650, $700 neighborhood, maybe a little bit more. Custom knife, actually pretty reasonable by custom knife standards nowadays. Everybody's charging like $2,000 for their custom knives now, $1,500. So it's nice to see something that's well under $1,000 that's pretty badass like this. So hope you guys enjoyed the review. Phantom Steelworks Skinwalker.